Believe it or not, Kristen, we have a phone call.
A phone call?
We have a phone call that we are going to listen to. So I just want to say that this call is from Tom Spall. So Tom, thank you, because if you remember last episode, he wrote a Facebook comment about them hearing the whistler in an old school that he worked at as a
And
teacher.
then going back for your things like they wouldn't be there tomorrow. Just get out, man.
So he left us a voicemail. By the way, you can leave us a voicemail at 858-215-4455. Keep in mind there is a 3-minute voicemail limit, so you can either finish your story by the end of that, or you can hang up and call us back and finish your story, or you can text us at that number as well. So without further ado, a story from Tom.
So yeah, my story, I'll try to make it quick since I only have 3 minutes. But have you guys ever heard about the boiler room killer? So in all these old school districts and school buildings and hospital buildings and all these like city hall type buildings, like these really old turn of the century 1900 type of buildings, a lot of these buildings, most of them, even the new ones, have boiler rooms. And there's this myth or story that goes around that this lore is that there's like ghosts or killers in these boiler rooms of these places. Well, I kind of just scoffed at that kind of idea until I was teaching at a middle school in Oklahoma City, and the principal told me this whole story of what happened. That one time in 1970s or so, I think, there was someone killed in their boiler room of their middle school. And to get into the school early in the morning or to leave the school late at night, you had to go down these stairs into this old 1900s building, go into the boiler room, through the boiler room, and out to fully lock all the doors. Well, there was supposedly a ghost, they thought, that killed a lady in the boiler room. And that's where that lore and that myth, that story came from. But it's all around the United States if you look up boiler room killings and stuff like that. And I'll tell you in another voicemail what actually happened to that actual death of this lady. She was leaving school one day, and she never left, and she never made it home. And so the 2 other friends that worked with her came and found her up at the school, and she was dead in the boiler room. And yeah, I'll leave it at that.
He ended up texting the rest of his story, so I'll just finish up reading what he texted me. He said, so it ended up not being a ghost, because this, just in case you didn't make out what happened, a teacher was leaving through the boiler room, which you had to do, and she was found dead. And so all these stories went around that this legend of boiler room killings at schools. So he finishes up with a text that says, it ended up not being a ghost. It was actually a crazy janitor that ended up strangling the counselor as she was leaving for the night in the boiler room, and then he left her body there. But when my principal told me the story, she told me how the first person to the school is the last person to leave, or the first person to the school and the last person to leave had to go through the boiler room. And they told stories and lore of other boiler room killings and strange phenomenons that happened all across the globe. And that is how I first heard of the boiler room killer. It always scared the bleep out of me, and her and the rest of the admin team always wanted to take me down to the boiler room to show me, and I always told them no.
You made the right choice on this one, Tom.
Crazy.
Yeah, that's sad and terrifying.
Yes.
One, like, if I worked at that school, I would not want to be the first in or the last out.
No. Oh my
I would do everything I could to avoid it.
Oh my goodness, can you imagine?
So I've never actually seen a boiler room except for in like scary movies or during a scary scene in a comedy movie or something. But if it's anything like that, they seem really creepy. Like it's dark and it kind of like basement-like, I guess, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, if you have any stories, especially here in the spirit of Halloween, call us at 858-215-4455. Tell us your scary stories. And or you could text us or you can email us at offbrandhorror@gmail.com.